Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Tuesday, April 4, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money, and if you are interested in props and parlay picks, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link to our Patreon and to our new channel in the description and comments section below. Arizona Diamondbacks vs San Diego Padres. San Diego starting pitcher Yu Darvish finished last season with 16 victories and a solid 3.10 ERA. San Diego won 4 out of the 5 starts that Darvish had against Arizona last season, including each of the last 4 and 2 during the final month of the regular season, when Darvish gave up a combined 3 runs on 3 hits across 12 innings, resulting in 6-3 and 6-1 victories for the Padres. Arizona has lost 5 of the last 6 head-to-head versus San Diego, and the Padres have won 20 of the last 27 at home in Petco Park versus the Diamondbacks. San Diego has won 5 of the last 7 versus a team from the National League West. Our team pick is San Diego Padres. Again, we have to look at the Arizona offense for this one, and more specifically how bad they are. They were averaging just 6.3 hits per game and 1.8 runs following their first series of the season. They don't have what the Padres have in a Juan Soto or Manny Machado to lift them up when all else has failed. Darvish is geared to go, which tells me that Back's lineup is in for another long day. The Padres will only need to score a couple of runs of their own to pull this one off. The under is 3-1 in the last 4 meetings between these two, and both have had 2 of their last 3 games go under. Take the under 7.5 runs. Chicago Cubs vs Cincinnati Reds. Wisniewski pitched very well in his limited work last season after coming over in the deal that sent Efris to the Bronx. He was solid in his 2 outings against the Reds last season, earning the win with 5 scoreless frames in his major league debut, before taking the tough loss in his final outing of the year in a quality start. Cincinnati's lineup isn't overpowering by any stretch, as we saw them have their issues putting runs on the board against the Pirates over the weekend. Chicago's lineup is better than Cincinnati's, at least on paper, and you have to think Wisniewski is a better arm than Sessa at this point. Take the Cubs on the road as they earn the victory in this contest. Our team pick is Chicago Cubs. Over their first 3 games the Reds only one had 9 runs, and none of them had more. The Cubs' last game against Milwaukee had 14 total runs, but their 2 prior games had only 4 runs scored in each. Both offenses have been slow out of the gate, with role players yet to chip in. Wisniewski has pitched very well against the Cubs in his limited work in the bigs, and the Cubs' bats did not face Sessa last season, so the first time or 2 through the lineup could yield very little. The under is 5-1 in the last 8 meetings between these 2 and 4-0 in Wisniewski's last 4 starts on grass. Take the under 9 runs. Minnesota Twins vs Miami Marlins. The Twins struggled against NL pitching last season, finishing 25th in batting against National League opponents. The Twins now match up with the reigning Cy Young winner, who had an ERA of just over 2 at home last season. Alcantara struggled with his command against the Mets, walking 4 batters and departing early with a rising pitch count. I expect Alcantara to have more command in his second start of the season and to pitch deeper into this game. In addition, the Twins were just 8-12 against the National League last season, including just 2-8 on the road. Take the Marlins money line. With Alcantara getting his second start, I'm expecting a much better performance, which is why I like the under here. Even if Mita struggles as I project, the Marlins' offense isn't good enough to score tons of runs. Instead, we are looking at a 3-2-4-1 game in Miami's favor in a game Alcantara takes over. In the 4 games the Marlins have played, the games are averaging 6.25 runs per game, while Minnesota's are averaging 5 runs per game. Early on in the season, pitchers are usually ahead of batters, and although the new rules will lead to more runs, with Alcantara on the bump, the Twins will have a hard time scoring. Finally, Minnesota is 2-1 in hitting the under so far, while Miami is 3-1. Take the under 7. Philadelphia Phillies vs New York Yankees. 3 Yankees relievers combined for 4 innings of shutout baseball to secure the win. New York's pitching staff boasts an impressive 2.33 ERA and 1.00 WHIP this season. The Yankees blanked the San Francisco Giants in 2 out their 3 games last week to begin the season. The Yankees staff leads baseball with 13.67 strikeouts per 9 innings. I'm siding with the Phillies on Tuesday. Their lineup is too good for them not to string some wins together sooner or later, and Tuesday seems like a good opportunity to do it. Domingo German is coming off of a horrendous spring where he allowed 10 earned runs in 10.1 innings pitched. As I noted above, his track record against Philadelphia isn't good either. Matt Strahm is a veteran pitcher who has had success against the Yankees and won't be intimidated by their powerful lineup. Philadelphia's pitching staff should be pretty good overall, even though they got lit up in Texas. They have plenty of good arms in the back end of their bullpen if Strahm can get them there. Turner, Castellanos and JT Realmuto should provide enough offense on Tuesday for the Phillies to get it done against German. Give me the Phillies money line. If the Phillies are going to win this game, which I think they can, they're going to have to do it by outscoring the Yankees. New York averaged more than 5 runs per game at home last season, and they're off to another solid start again offensively this year. Philadelphia has the firepower to keep up, but they need to win the starting pitching battle. I think they'll do that against German, who hasn't been sharp leading into this season. With the exception of Kyle Schwarber, the big guns in both lineups are off to a good start. I'll ride the over against these pitchers. Our total pick is over 8.5 runs. Tampa Bay Rays vs Washington Nationals. The Rays won't be starting one of their best arms on Tuesday, but the Nationals won't be running out any dominant counterparts, with Chad Kuhl expected to get the start with an average bullpen following him up. The Rays' offense and bullpen is off to a hot start, and they had no problems with the Tigers to open the season. I see the Rays' fortune continuing here against a Washington team that is just 19-47 as a home underdog dating back to last season. Although Kuhl did not pitch for Washington last season, the Rockies were just 1-9 in the last 10 starts he did make last season. Unless you are going to give me a price in the plus 200 range on the Nats, I have to roll with the Rays here. Even though the Nationals hitting .211 and averaging just 2.3 runs per game, I'm confidently on the over for Tuesday's game. Both Fleming and Kuhl were roughed up in 6 spring training appearances. Kuhl had an ERA north of 5.00, while Fleming's was 4.91. Both posted career worst ERAs in 2022 as well. There are going to be plenty of scoring opportunities on Tuesday before the opening day starters take the hill again on Wednesday for both teams. Tampa Bay has cashed in on opportunities this season, ranking in the top 5 in slugging percentage and ops. I'll take the over against these starting pitchers. Pittsburgh Pirates vs Boston Red Sox. There are 2 huge advantages that the Red Sox have entering this game. The first is that they have a far superior offense. They are not likely going to be scoring 9 runs per game against the Pirates as they did against Baltimore, but it would not be surprising to see them score 5 or 6 per game. In addition, Pivetta has dominated the Pirates in his career, allowing 14 hits and 4 earned runs in 18.0 innings pitched. He gives the Red Sox the biggest advantage of all and should hold the Pirates to a couple of runs before his evening is over. He will then turn the game over to a struggling Boston bullpen who will give up a couple of runs before finishing off the game. Nick Pivetta will get the start for Boston in the second game of this series with the Pirates. He made his last appearance last week in Grapefruit League action, allowing just 2 runs over 6 innings despite allowing 10 hits and a pair of walks. He did not pitch well in the spring and finished with an underwhelming 6.11 ERA, 1.98 WHIP, and a 21/9 KBB ratio over 17 2/3 innings. Boston had an offensive explosion against the Orioles, but they did serve up their fair share of runs. Pittsburgh has been inept offensively for the last decade, but they can muster 3 or more runs to drive this total. Take the over.